Hey guys, welcome to JaysAndKays. What I've got here today is a Casio GShock GA2100, and this is an analog model from GShock, hence the A in the GA2100 model number. It's also a carbon core guard model, and so that's important because that's a new design construction from GShock, and it was one reason why a lot of folks were really excited about this release because it is a slimmer, more compact package. And so when we talk about slimmer, it's useful perhaps to compare it with some other popular models. And so what I've got here right now is I've got a GW5000. Now this is an all metal model in that the case is a metal case. But if you look at the comparison between the two, you can see the 2100 is considerably thinner compared to this GW5000. Now if I was going to show you the GW5000 in terms of popular models, I might as well show you also the GMWB 5000. So these are really good siblings to compare because they're both tough solars, they're both multi-band 6s, they're both all metal designs, meaning they both have the metal cases. Now the GMWB 5000 is also a Bluetooth model, hence the B in the model number. It also comes with a metal bezel, but nonetheless, if you look at the thicknesses between these two, they're on par with each other. So when you're considering, say, the size comparison of the 2100 to either, the GM 5000 or the GMWB 5000, I'm sorry, the GW 5000 or the GMWB 5000, you got a good idea of how those compare. Now, those other two have a much more robust feature set, and of course they're designed differently. So the price point on those two is going to be considerably more expensive than this 2100. And so if you're trying to consider, comparing this to something more in the same price range, what I recommend you consider is perhaps something like, here's a DW5600, and this is the BB, so it's the all black, but it's kitted up with the metal adapters we have and my steel bracelet. And let me show you the thickness. So the DW5600 is not quite as thick as those other ones, but still the 2100 is considerably thinner than even that. So those are a bunch of squares we could look at in terms of comparing to the 2100, but let's talk about maybe something that's not really a square. Here's the DW5900, and for you guys who are GShock fans, you may know about this guy as being a re-release of a previous model. So if you want to see the original, I've got a photo up in the Instagram. You can see that here. But another thing to know about this, if you're a trivia guy, the DW5900 is also known as the Walter. And so if you look back into a movie called The Big Lebowski, you can see that reference. Anyway, here's the comparison between these two guys. So my point though is, if you're looking for something along this price point range, you can compare with maybe that 5600 or the 5900 in terms of pricing and feature set. Now, of course, this is an analog with a little digital display panel, and so you can consider all that. But in terms of size, this is still considerably thinner. So, that's up to you. What we wanted to show you though here with this video is how to put adapters on this. Now, normally, up to this point, guys had been using the 16mm adapters for the 5600 or the 5900 and so forth. The problem was that they fit really loose on the 2100 because of some things as far as what Casio's doing with the spring bars here and other things, some dimensional differences. So, although they worked, they were a little bit sloppy. So I decided to come out with a newer release of adapters that are targeting the 2100 specifically, and I wanted to show those to you. These, as I mentioned, these are using quick release spring bars, and so these straps are super easy to take off. What you need is just something to reach in here and to grab the knob on the quick release spring bar and just pull it out of the hole in the lug, and you're good to go. So that's one half. Let's pull the other half off here. Super simple. And there you go. There's your 2100 without its strap. And so these are 16mm lugs, but dimensionally they're a little bit different in some ways. And the fact that Casio's using these quick release spring bars was not overlooked. When I designed these adapters specifically for the 2100, I incorporated the quick release spring bars in this as well. So you'll get a pair of quick release spring bars with the kit. And I'm just showing you perhaps the easiest way to put those in is go ahead and get your adapter in the lug first, and then simply tuck that spring bar under and drop the adapter in, wiggle it around till you hear that spring bar lock into place with that click. And there you go. You've got one side on. Easy peasy, right? So let's grab the second one. Let's do the same thing. So I've pre-installed these quick release spring bars for you. Here's, if you want to just pull one out, I'll show you what they look like. Just go ahead and pull that guy out. There you go. So just dunk it in there. What I do is I get the adapter started, tuck it in there, and then grab your knob for your quick release, pull it down so you can get the adapter the rest of the way in, and then just wiggle it around until that adapter clicks into place. And there you go. There's both adapters mounted on your 2100. So now what we want to do is let's get a strap on this. So since we got the spring bars in already, let's go ahead and put a one-piece strap on this. Here I've got a Zulu style black multi-camo pattern. It's our JaysAndKays black multi-camo. Let's go ahead and slide this guy in there. A lot of guys like to use the one piece in case a spring bar were to fail. They've still got the other one holding their watch on their wrist. But if you wanted to see what this looks like on a black multicam, here you go. Now say you didn't want that, let's go with something different. Pull this out. We can reuse one piece or two piece straps. And this is a 22mm lug, by the way. So let's go ahead and pull this guy out. Let's say we want something a little more current, like this Marine National parachute strap. We can mount that in there. We've got drilled lugs on these adapters, so you could use the spring bar tool just to poke in this hole and dismount that spring bar. But since I have access to it, I'm just going to use my finger with my fingernail dismount that. But let's say you want to load this guy in here. Now with the Marine International, you know, they install a little bit differently, but let me go ahead and get it locked in and you guys can see how that looks. So there's one, and then let's put the other one in. Okay. There you go. So they're both in. You put this on your wrist, you lock it into place and so forth. But here's your 2100 with, say, a Marine International, or Marine National, I'm sorry, a Marine National parachute strap, right? So there's one option. Let's say you wanted to go with a two-piece. Well, no worries. I've got one more to show you, and then we'll be all wrapped up. But let's go ahead and dismount this. And I've got an older, heavy-duty Zulu style here that we want to drop in there. So let's go ahead and drop that guy in right there. Tuck it in. And then I'll just drop that spring bar into there. There you go. There's the 6 o'clock side. Let's get the 12 o'clock side up here. Okay, there you go. So that would be my 2100 with, it's an older strap of mine. Obviously, it's been worn a lot, but an older heavy duty sort of Zulu style two-piece. But anyway, there you go, guys. I hope that you are happy with the results on this. If you want this kit, you can find the link to it in the video description down here. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe. Holler at me if you got any questions. Talk to you later. Bye.